In this solution movie, I'll show you how I would seek to accomplish this challenge. This challenge is all about creating multiple virtual copies, 2 that are color, 2 that are black and white, and then we're going to look at how we can put those into collections. All right, well, here I would start in the Develop module, press Command apostrophe to create my first virtual copy. The first one I asked you to apply a crop to it, so I'll tap the R key for the crop tool. And what I'm going to do is I notice the subject isn't in the center, so I'm just going to change the crop so that she's centered here. I think that will work better for a photograph like this. Often you'll hear people say you should never have the subject dead center, but with an image like this where you have all this nice balance, I think it works well. So double click to apply the crop to the image. All right, well, that's virtual copy number 1. Let's create one more, Command apostrophe to create the second. Then I need to go to my basic panel. What I like to do with my panels is access them by way of a shortcut, keyboard command. So if you're on a Mac, it's Command plus the numbers. Windows, that's Control. So if I press Command 1, that opens up Basic. Press it again, it closes it. Command 2, that's Curve. So you can see how I can jump between my various panels really quickly. So I press Command 1 to open up the Basic. And here what I'm looking to do really is just kind of tweak the color and maybe practice. And I'm trying to think about style and this image. And this image sort of has this nice, maybe melancholy mood about it. So I'm just looking to try to create a look that matches that. I like to look at my before and after. So I tap the backslash key, there's before, tap it again, and then we can see the after. All right, so I have my 2 color virtual copies. Next, I'm ready for the black and white, so Command apostrophe again. When it comes to black and white, really the best way to convert to black and white is with the grayscale panel or black and white panel down here, not to desaturate. This is very limited. So what I do almost always is tap the V key. I think V for victory because it's a more victorious or better black and white. This disables vibrance and saturation, but then opens up all of our black and white controls. That's important with an image like this. It has a lot of green in it, right? So we could change the brightness of the background there. And also, I like brightening up skin tone a little bit too. So I would modify those sliders. And this could be one black and white look. Now to create another, Command apostrophe. And what I'm going to do is use the graduated filter. So I'll tap the M key or just click on it. And with this one, I want to bring down the brightness here. So I'm going to experiment a little bit and just click and drag over the lower area. And just look to bring these values down a little bit here. Maybe add a touch of clarity there. Bump the shadows up a little bit. Then click Done to apply that. And you can see this one, the before and after, really it's just about that foreground and darkening that up and creating a mood there. You could obviously do other things as well. But here we now have our 2 color and then 2 black and white. Most importantly, when you're doing a challenge or doing anything, you want to make sure you like the image. Make the work for you. And if it's more specific to you, there's a greater chance it will be interesting to someone else. So in this case, I'm just trying to do that. I like the look. I'm good. I want to jump back to the basic Command 1 and maybe open up my shadows a little bit more there and my blacks a little bit there too. Okay, the next step is to do some organizational work. Put these images into collections. I like to do that in the library module because in the library module, you can use a pretty handy shortcut. So you can also go back to the folder easier. And you'll see why that'll be relevant in a second. So here I tap the E key in order to access the loop view in the library module. And what I want to do is create a couple of collections. So I'll click on my black and white images, click on one, hold on the Shift key, click on the other. Then inside of the library module, if you press Command N, that's Mac, or Control N Windows, it gives you the new collection dialog. And so here I'm going to go ahead and just name this one Kelly BW. No need to make virtual copies. I already have them here. Just include these photos, click Create. Now when you create a virtual copy, it takes you to that virtual copy here in the Collections panel. If you want to go back to the folder, you could click on it here. That's one way to do it. Another way is if you Control-click on the image, you can select Go to Folder in Library. Sometimes I do that because I have a ton of folders and collections in my own version of Lightroom. So right-clicking or Control-clicking on the image, go to Folder, it gets me up there quicker than having to scroll through and find where that folder was. Next step, click on one of the color images, hold in the Shift key, click on the other one, Command N for new, and I'll name this one Kelly-Color. Include these selected photos, and then click Create. And here we have finished the challenge where we have our 2 color images. And just to illustrate, there's the first one, then the second. And then we also have these two black and white photographs, the first one and then the second. Now, if you accomplish this in a little bit of a different order, that's okay. But what I'm hoping is that this challenge gave you a chance to integrate what we've learned in this chapter into your own workflow. And I also hope this was helpful to see my solution of how I would set out to try to accomplish this task.